Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Max Warframe, where today we're going to be checking out a weapon I've been looking forward to for quite some time, and that is the Supra Vandal. The Supra is a weapon I've liked for a long time now, even though I don't use it much because it's a bit terrible. So having an event version of it was something that really got me excited. The chance to pick it up has almost passed, so you're going to either have to wait for it to appear in Evasion somewhere down the line, or quickly rush to pick it up in the next 24 hours. Those of you that have it already will have picked it up from the Ambulance Reborn event that is currently running on PC, but how does it look stats wise when you actually get the reward? Well, its base damage of 45, most of that coming in puncture. It's actually pretty decent damage per shot compared to other assault rifles. However, its lack of other stats like crit, just 2.5% crit chance, 150% multiplier, which is really low, or status with only a 5% status chance, really do let it down a bit and push it being into more of a straight elemental weapon. It does have a pretty nice fire rate, however, starting at 12.5 rounds per second, and after a short spool up will fire considerably faster than that, meaning that the damage output of the Supra Vandal can be pretty decent, especially when you combine it with the vastly better accuracy, double magazine size, and much faster reload that the Vandal has over the standard Supra. That's not to say that the Supra Vandal doesn't have downsides. The lack of crit and status really hurt it if you're pushing into salty level enemies a bit, meaning you're going to have to expend way more ammo than you really want to be able to kill all you need. The projectiles that it fires are also pretty slow, so either you're going to have to be very close or very good at leading targets to be able to land all your hits, and that hurts actually applying the damage from the weapon. The other nice thing about the Supra is that it comes with an augment mod, Entropy Burst, and that adds 20 base status chance to the weapon, as well as the entropy effect, which does 1000 magnetic damage every time it procs, plus restores 25% of your base energy, and boosts your base energy by 25% for 30 seconds. This is not as bad as an augment as I first thought though, although it still interacts with dual stats a bit weirdly. Even though it adds to the base status chance, dual stat mods will still only work from the original 5% status chance, not the 25% the weapon has once the augment is added. It means that the dual stats really aren't worth it on here. However, the augment combined with the newfound accuracy and the crazy fire rate of the Supra means that even with only a 42% status chance, you're going to be able to proc really rather often, and that does make the Supra into a bit of a status spreading weapon. So with these stats and this augment mod, how do I go about building the Supra Vandal? Well, it comes with 2Vs as standard, which is really rather nice, and I added another 4 former, so we end up with 3V and 3 dash. The build is pretty much a straight elemental one. Serration, Split Chamber, Shred, Vile Acceleration for speeding up the fire rate, and that also helps the spool up of the weapon. We also have the augment on here, bringing our status chance up to 42%, so with a fire rate of almost 30 rounds a second, we are going to be proccing pretty often. Then we have two 90% elemental mods, not the dual stats as I talked about the reason why earlier, and then the final mod is definitely going to be personal preference. This is actually, my weapon is formed for a ribbon that I've got for it, which is why I've got the other dash on there, but you can actually shift things around a bit to fit primed fast hands to bring the reload down, primed bane mod, another 90% elemental, you can put guided ordnance on here for more accuracy if you want it, terminal velocity for projectile flight speed. The final mod is really going to be down to your playstyle, so experiment, play around, see what feel works best for you. So what do I think of the Supra Vandal? Well, honestly, I like it quite a lot. It's by no means an endgame weapon. You're not going to be effective in raids or the final stage of sorties, but to be honest, it's only really a small portion of Warframe right now. Star Chart and Star Chart level enemies are more what you're going to be dealing with for the most part, and the Supra Vandal deals with them as effectively as anything else. But the Supra Vandal has something that other weapons don't really have, or some other weapons don't have. In fact, a couple of things, you know. Firstly is the theatre of the weapon. Seeing an insane stream of fire coming out of your weapon, mowing down groups of enemies with this brand new firing sound, it's pretty epic because it just looks and sounds amazing. I've had so much fun playing around with this thing, used it quite a lot during the event to blast the hell out of Ambulance, well, in those moments where I'm not using Mesa to do it. But all that theatre leads me on to the second thing, and that's the Supra Vandal, what the Supra Vandal has in spades. And that is, it's a fun weapon. A weapon that doesn't have to be in the top, the top of its game, the top of its class to be fun. And the Supra Vandal has been so much fun to play with. Crazy fire rate with a 300 round magazine, it's such a blast. I've enjoyed it so much. But while I do think it's worth the former, and I think it's fun, not everyone is going to. Personally, I think the buffs that the Vandal got over the standard weapon has actually been more of a buff than I think people realise, especially that accuracy buff. Landing more hits than ever is a huge boost to the damage output. If you have the weapon, play around with it, see if you like it. You'll know pretty quickly whether you're going to like playing with it. So I hope that you enjoyed my look at the Supra Vandal. Got videos for the new augments coming in the next couple of days. I've got the mitre coming tomorrow. So for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video.